Hello my gorgeous lovelies. I have in the last couple of days received this Tom Ford palette that I have had on my wish list forever, and it always kept getting knocked down because there's always a new and fabulous and normally limited edition palette taking its place on the totem pole. But on hearing that this has been discontinued, I decided to bite the bullet and try and track it down. It was super easy here in New Zealand, and I have the Tom Ford Cocoa Mirage palette. If you would like to see this eyeshadow look, my thoughts and comparison swatches, please keep watching. Thanks for tuning into this video. If you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. I upload videos on a weekly basis, and it's just sharing my love of makeup, beauty, and pretty things that just give me a little bit of joy in my life from the everyday. If that sounds like you, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. And for all you lovely ladies who are back to see another video from me, thank you for coming back. Okay, Cocoa Mirage by Tom Ford. It is a pricey palette. It retails for $80 US, and I got it here in New Zealand for 160 New Zealand dollars. I was very fortunate. It was no bother at all to get this palette in New Zealand. We are not blessed with having the latest and greatest launches in New Zealand. They can take a wee while. I notice with some beauty brands, especially say Anastasia Beverly Hills, now that that is stocked through a major cosmetic company here or cosmetic retail store here in New Zealand, Mecca Cosmetica or Mecca Beauty, we can get those quite quickly within 2 to 4 weeks of it being launched in the US. However, your luxury brands such as Dior, Tom Ford, those sorts of brands, they're very slow to filter through to the country down under here, New Zealand. Even Chanel. We don't get a lot of their limited edition colours because by the time we would get them down here, they were already sold out in the US. So a lot of times we would miss out from purchasing said items unless you wanted to buy directly through Nordstrom or something like that and have them shipped to New Zealand from the US. In saying that, when it came to the Tom Ford colours, there are two palettes that are not the latest palettes, but probably from the release previous to the latest launch. There are two colours that I'd love to get my hands on, and that's Body Heat and Suspicion. Those colours, or those range of colours in the Tom Ford quads, haven't even made it to New Zealand yet. So it was a good bet that Cocoa Mirage was still sitting around here in New Zealand, and it was. So I placed my order from a store in New Zealand and I got it 2 days ago. Now, third world problems, I filmed it yesterday and the lighting was shocking. I'm hoping the lighting is better today, but it just was all over the show yesterday and I couldn't have uploaded a quality video. Well, not the best quality compared to some YouTubers, but for me it still wasn't up to scratch. So refilming again today. The reason that I did pull it up on my wish list and purchased, I have learned that this has now been discontinued and is quite hard to find in the US now, and has been superseded by another palette by Tom Ford, and I will just pop that up here, a wee picture of that, and it is a slight variation on the Cocoa Mirage palette, but that is what's replaced this one. After watching Mel Thompson's reviews of the new palettes and how much she loved the formulation of the original, after watching her video, I was online ordering this. As I said, it's been on my wish list for a very long time and I just kept putting it off, but knowing that it's been discontinued and it was my last chance to probably get this, I have ordered it. And I have to say, I'm pleased I have. Now I do know that some people who have purchased this palette before have been underwhelmed with Cocoa Mirage, being the fact that they are very basic brown neutral colours. However, whilst I agree with that, and I have at the end of this video swatched some other shades that I have within my eyeshadow collection that are similar to these shades, the formulation in these shadows is superior in my opinion, and I'm really pleased that I have this palette. I think I am going to reach for this on a regular basis. I think I can see myself using this palette more than once a week going to work for my everyday eyeshadow look. It's so easy to use, easy to blend. I think it would be quite difficult to muck up an eye look with this palette, and so super happy. So without further ado, let's get into the tutorial of this eyeshadow look, and then without further ado, let's get into the tutorial of this eyeshadow look. Okay, would you believe, even though I filmed this yesterday and I am trying again, this is the second time today because I forgot to put my microphone on. But let's go, take 3. I have a wee sample here of the Too Faced Shadow Insurance Eye Primer, and I'm just going to pop that on my lid with my fingers. I'll definitely need it now after using my cellar water to take off what I had done before I discovered the microphone wasn't switched on. So what's probably going to be a 20-minute video is probably taken me 4 hours by the time I've set up, filmed and had another go at it. Okay, the Cocoa Mirage palette was brand new when I first started this tutorial, but we have had several attempts at it now. So I'm going to take the first white shade here with a flat shader brush and just set that eyeshadow primer from lash to brow. And I don't mind doing that with this shadow because it's a nice matte colour. It's not sparkly and shiny. And I'm wondering if this, as I do comparisons at the end of the video, if this would be similar to Max Blanc Type. I do like how smooth the shadows are in this palette. Okay, now I'm going to take the second lightest shade, and I'm using a Morphe R37 brush, and I'm just going to tap that in my outer corner of the eye and slowly blend that, and I'm blending it up because this is going to be my transition shade. So just blending, 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 and then slowly taking it into the upper meaty part of my eye. Sorry, I keep tilting my head. Try and keep my head straight. So it's a nice light colour. but you can see the definition even though it's a light colour compared to the eye I haven't done yet. I'm just going to build on that. Yeah, I'm just want to say my hair, I absolutely hate it at the moment. I had it coloured, sort of wanting it more of a honey blonde colour, just a few streaks in it, because when I do get it coloured it thickens the texture of my hair and I can do a little bit more with it, but it's come out really ginger and orange and yellow, and so not what I was looking for. So I've been toning the heck out of it with purple shampoo and conditioner, and I think I'll just go back to bunging it up in a ponytail, having some serious thoughts about maybe getting a short crop or something like that. Not sure, because all the stylish women I like looking at and following, even in the mature years, they all seem to have shoulder length hair or longer, so I'm not sure about going super short myself, but I'm just sort of over the whole can't do anything with my hair, so let's bung it in a band sort of thing. Okay, so that's that colour, well and truly just blended. And I really like these shadows. They're very easy to blend and they are diffused and just soft. Okay, now going in with this shade here that I absolutely love, and it's probably my favourite colour in the palette, and it's a brown, but it's got mulberry sort of reddish undertone to it, which makes it to me quite special. So I'm going in with that with a Sonia G Crease Pro brush, and I'm just going to go back on the outer corner and just slowly build that up and deepen up that outer edge of the eye, and just do circular little motions just to deepen up that outer area. And then I'm going to slowly bring it into my actual crease area of my eye. So just going in a second time, little circular motions very lightly, just blending that across into the center of my lid, and then into, and it's really easy to get into your natural crease. It's just like window shield wiper actions, and it's just going right around my eyeball, and that's what I'm trying to achieve. Now, being on holiday was fantastic. It was a beautiful beach holiday. No makeup for 2 to 3 weeks. Now I try my best. I wear sunscreen every day. I reapply it. But being a beach holiday and being in the water and around the water, I did darken up in my skin tone and in my face. And I only have one foundation colour that matches me at the moment, and that is my Too Faced Peach Perfect foundation in warm beige. All my other foundations I have are in my 80% of the year colours. So it's been quite different. So I'm trying to sort of come up with colours that go with my tan skin that I'm not sort of used to really. And I won't hold this tan for very long, it never hangs around. So just Going in there one more time just to do the outer V there. Love the tone of that colour. Righty ho, now I'm going to go in with the Makeup Geek Outer V brush. I'm going to go in with the darkest brown in the palette, and with this I'm just going to tap that in the outer, very outer corner of my eye. I'm going to come across on an angle and then just slowly blend that in to deepen up that outer area of the eye. I'm not going to be too precise with this because I'm going to go back in with that second colour and just blend it all out. But I'm just wanting to add some depth in there. Okay, now going back in with my Sonia G brush and that beautiful shade that I like, I'm going to take the colour and I'm just going to blend together with the darker brown that I've just put in there, and I'm looking straight ahead using my little mirror here to get some colour. Because I've got hooded eyes, I want some colour where you can see it when my eyes are open, instead of it always getting lost on my hooded lid. And just blending that out, in, around, just to make that really seamless. Okay, then going back in with the original R37 Morphe brush with no extra product on, and then I'm just going to blend that top edge. Okay, keeping with the Makeup Geek Outer V brush, I'm going to take the dark brown and then just blend under my eye. And just running that up to connect with the upper lash line. Blending that in with. Then I'm just using the Sonia G brush just to blend out those edges. Okay, then using that brush again, I'm going to go in with just the second lightest shade and then just add that under my eye. I'm trying my best to not use too many brushes. Doing my eyes these days is, it's a pain washing them all. So the more I can keep to a few and using them, I'm happy chappy. Okay guys, so that's the finished look with the eyeshadows. I'll pop off camera and do my liner and mascara, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, so that is the finished look using the Cocoa Mirage palette. I've done my top eyeliner with the Marc Jacobs fine liner. I'm actually finding I'm enjoying this a lot more than my repurchase of the NARS Via Veneto. For some reason it is different, not just the fact that I have to sharpen the pencil now. It transfers to my bottom waterline when I only line my top waterline. So I'm going to give the Marc Jacobs gel liner a bit of a go again, and then I've very thinly lined the upper lash line of my lashes with the Tom Ford eye defining pen. I haven't used it for a while because I've been using the Fenty fly liner, because I have found sometimes if I'm not careful this does transfer to my upper lid with my hooded eyes, but we will give that a go today. And for mascara, I have just used a wee sample of the IT Cosmetics Superhero mascara. And of course I've got my lashes on, which I hadn't had on whilst I was on holiday, so I'm enjoying having my lash extensions back. I feel so bald without them, so I think it's just what you get used to, but I do like having my lashes. So anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed that look using the palette. I really have enjoyed it. As I said, I've only had it for a couple of days, but I've done my eyes 4 times with it now. Each time blended beautifully. It's only a quad, so you are not going to get lots of different looks with it. You could definitely do a smoky eye look without the white on the lid, which I will have a play with doing as well, but I love the colours in this. Did I need it? No. Did I especially need it because of the price? Absolutely not. But I am pleased I have it. It has always been on my wish list, but it just kept getting bumped off because there is always a new eyeshadow palette on the horizon. I loved how they blended. I do feel that in this particular palette that they are superior shadows compared to some other shadows that I have in my makeup collection. They blended beautifully and they are just super soft, no kickback, no fallout. Super happy with it. I'm going to go through some of the shadows that I have in my collection that I think may be similar to the colours in this Cocoa Mirage palette. So I will take you through those now and then we'll wrap up. Okay, so the closest I could come to from my collection is quite varied. So this one here is the Tom Ford Cocoa Mirage Cream. Then this one here is My Precious from the So Jaded palette, and it's just a little bit peachy. This one here is from an Anastasia single called Blanc, and it's just a little bit more white. This is the closest, and this is Bear from the Kali Bible Anastasia palette. And this one here is a little bit pinky, and this is Powdered Sugar from the Too Faced Spicy palette. This colour here is the colour from the Tom Ford Cocoa Mirage palette. The colour that I felt was the closest is this one here, and it's swatched here. And it is this colour here in the Too Faced Hot Buttered Rum palette. This colour here is Lula from the Mario Anastasia palette, but it's a little bit more pinky. This colour here is Raw Sienna from Anastasia. This colour here is Birch from the Anastasia Sultry palette. This colour here is the Marc Jacobs single, and it's probably it's warmer than it's definitely warmer than the Tom Ford colour, and that is Marc Jacobs Daddy-O. And as I said, the closest match I feel is the colour from the Hot Buttered Rum palette. Okay, so this one was a bit harder to come up with, and that is this colour here in the palette, and this is the Tom Ford colour here. The colours I come up with, this is too light and too pink, I think, and this is Dusty Rose from Anastasia. The next one is a single from Makeup Geek, which is pretty close, and that is Brown Sugar. And then another Makeup Geek colour is Wild West, and that's that one swatched next to the Tom Ford one here. But I think Brown Sugar is pretty close, and it's also got the shimmer in it as well. And then last but not least, we've got the Extreme Mahogany. This is the one that I thought would go, but it's actually a bit dark. Extreme Mahogany from the Pat McGrath Divine Rose Mothership 7 palette. Okay, so the last colour in the palette, which is this dark brown here, was a little bit easier to come up with colours, and I could probably keep going in my makeup stash. So this is the Tom Ford colour. Then we've got Ground Brown from MAC. we have got Mocha, which I think is probably the closest, from Makeup Geek. Then I have this colour here from the Viseart Neutral Mattes palette. And then the last colour I had here is from the Viseart Warm Mattes palette. But I think Mocha from Makeup Geek is the closest match that I have. Oh, now this was a little bit of an afterthought. The only other Tom Ford palette that I have is the Nude Palette. Now this again is a very neutral palette, but it is, whereas this is more on the matte spectrum of colours, the Nude Dip have a sheen to them and are more of a satin finish. So I'm even looking forward to mixing and matching these shades with the Cocoa Mirage. I do not tend to use this palette as an all-in-one because of the sheen to these shadows. I tend to use them more in conjunction with other palettes or other singles, but I definitely would use this as a one shadow look like I've created today. And I think it would be a great palette for me to take travelling as well. I still talk about travelling like I do a lot of it. It's because it's in my life I wish for. I just wish I could travel and, you know, just pop in my Cocoa Mirage in my travel pack. Okay guys, so although I think there are definitely comparisons, if you're wanting similar colours, you can definitely find colours similar to this in any brand of makeup, I believe. But I'm super happy that I have it. I think it's going to be a constant reach for palette, especially for my everyday work look. It is just an easy palette, beautiful to blend, and I think I would use this quite regularly. I hope you enjoyed that, guys. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. I would truly appreciate it. If you haven't already, please click on the subscribe button down below. I'd love to see you back in my next video. I hope you've all had a beautiful and a wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you next time. See ya. Bye.